The next step in measuring the value of my keyword research and my marketing efforts is to look at the specific landing pages that people are finding. We've already grouped our visitors in terms of segments by looking at what words they searched on, and then also the additional qualifying words that help me determine specifically what they were looking for. So if I know that someone is looking for a hot springs, spa, and resort, I'm going to look at all those search phrases, and then I want to look specifically at what they did. I want to look and see how many sales were the result of people looking for hot springs, spa, and resort, how many KPIs were met, or if they left immediately. If they left immediately, that tells me they did not find what they wanted. The KPIs are everything from engagement on the website, staying on, looking at additional pages, downloading any information, maybe doing the online chat. Obviously, the sale is the booking, and that's my ultimate goal. That's what I want people to do. And so for each sub-segment, I'm going to measure them differently because I want to make sure that for that specific sub-segment, I am effective in getting the right people to the right place where they can see the right message. As I mentioned before, I can't treat all of these people the same way. I have to measure them differently because people have different motivations and their keywords are clear indicators of their motivations. So continuing on with the hot springs, spa, and resort, once I have a sense of how many sales were completed from that segment, what the KPIs, which ones were met, which ones were not, and then a good sense of bounce rate. And this is the only time that bounce rate really tends to make sense is when you look at it under a microscope of specific key phrases and the content that's on the page. Because if people enter at this page and they don't see any information about a hot spring spa and resort, I'm going to have a very high bounce rate, and I can troubleshoot from there. But what I want to look at from this point is I'll go into my analytics program or I'll go to one of the Webmaster Tools programs, which will show me which of my pages rank for this phrase. And so I can go into, for this example, Bing's Webmaster Tools, and I can see the traffic details for that landing page. And I can see which keywords are sending visitors to that landing page, how many visitors each keyword sent, and then the click-through rate, the bounce rate, and then I can start measuring the effectiveness of that key phrase for this specific content to that page. Sometimes I'll find that it's a good ranking, but it might be the wrong page. And so I'll either need to change that page or change my optimization to another page and focus my efforts on those pages rather than the one that's ranking already. Here are the questions that you need to ask when you come to your analytics in establishing the value of your landing pages. The first question, where did my visitors come from? Did they come from search? If they came from search, which keywords did they use? Did they come from a link? Are they a direct visitor or a return visitor through either directly accessing the site or through an email newsletter? Number one, where did the visitors come from? Number two, what did they see? If they came from search, well, then which terms? Because only by looking at the term and the landing page will you be able to determine the intent and their expectancy and your ability to serve the right page. People coming from a link will go back and look at that link on the other website, look and see what the text of the link is, and then the context of that link on the other website. That will tell you what the expectancy of the visitor is on the page on your website. And then what did they do? So for people in our example looking for a hot springs spa and resort, did they book? Did they bounce? Or did they research? Did they engage with us in any way? So what did they do? The fourth question is, what was the result? Did we get the sale? Did we hit any of our engagement goals or any KPI goals? That way we know if we're going in the right trend or the wrong trend. And then finally, what's it worth? What's our bottom line? What is the visitor who searches for a spa and resort in the hot springs? What are they worth? I can then compare that to someone who is searching for a luxury spa and resort, and I can see by keyword segment where my value is. If I can see that I'm growing my value in hot springs spas and resorts, but I'm not growing value in golf spas and resorts, maybe some of my competitors are doing a better job of pulling in that specific traffic and getting those bookings. Because then I'll know comparatively which products are moving the best and which products I'm having a more difficult time of selling. These 5 questions will completely change your approach to analytics. When you ask, where did people come from? What did they see? What did they do? What was the result? And what's it worth to our business? These are the foundational questions to ask when evaluating the performance of your website according to your business goals and ensuring that your keyword research is paying off.